I'm afraid my hair's a bit of a bedhead this morning. Welcome to Monday. It's Bank Holiday Monday, and it's been a busy, sociable weekend again. As you saw, we had Vivi over for the weekend. And if you don't know who Vivi is, it's Vivi from What Vivi Did Next, another YouTube channel. We are fellow YouTubers, although her channel is much larger than ours. So we had a good weekend, very chatty. We talk about everything and anything. We eat, we laugh. Paul and Vivi had a drink. I didn't. I wasn't really in the mood for drinking. I'm not really a drinker. I mean, I have drunk, and I've drunk regularly. We used to have every Friday, every single Friday was champagne night. And friends used to get to know this. So used to turn up regularly. But we don't do that anymore. I mean, very often we would drink a bottle of red a night with a meal. But no, not for me anymore. Paul enjoys a drink still, but not as regularly. I think it's the same for Vivi. She enjoys a drink. I don't. And the reason being is because even with a small amount of alcohol, the next day I really just can't function at all. It just seems to completely floor me in terms of brain power. I feel foggy. I can't do stuff. I can't focus. I feel completely lackluster. So I choose not to. Very occasionally I'll have half a glass of red. If champagne's on offer, that's slightly different. I do like a glass of champagne or two, but it's very rare. So anywho, had a good weekend. We did talk a lot. And one of the subjects we talked about was YouTube, because we all sort of discuss what we might do to change things up, to make things more interesting or take a different pathway. And I've been thinking about this recently. I mean, don't take any of this the wrong way. We completely and utterly appreciate all the support. And we know very well that we have a core group of followers who are very loyal. We have a lovely group of supporters as well on our coffee page. And we are immensely grateful for that. And the money we do earn, we are also immensely grateful for. And we've said it before, we're not big earners. So, we're not like a lot of people, especially in this area. People are earning 60 to 80,000 pounds, things like that per annum. We really don't earn anything near that amount. So we live hand to mouth most of the time. And we're okay with that. Absolutely okay with that. We don't live beyond our means. We don't buy unnecessarily. We're not lavish with, clothes buying, gadgets. The phones that we've had are years old now. We've got a few other devices. We're not people that renew things whenever a new phone or item comes out. We don't rush to go and buy it because we don't need to. We're not that kind of people. We're certainly not as frugal as somebody like Vivi, because she really doesn't earn very much at all. But to go back to talking about YouTube, I'll be totally honest with you, our money has gone down a lot. Our views haven't particularly dipped that much, but we're not gaining that many new subscribers. We just exist on this core group of people that always come back and are very loyal. And like I said before, we are immensely grateful for that. But it's quite challenging sometimes. We make generally 3 videos a week. My vlogs, Sunday chat, and a week at the plot. And sometimes we do a cookery video. But it's quite challenging in a number of ways because we don't really have time to explore creativity, which we have done in the past. It's difficult to come up with new ideas of things that are relatively easily achievable. Now listen to what I'm saying, please. Cookery videos are a good example. They take a lot of work, a lot of prep, a lot of testing, unless you're doing something that you've done before, and a lot of time in order to produce a video that's 15 minutes long. So, you know, that's why we don't suddenly rush to do loads of cookery videos, because we're not really a cookery channel. We just do cookery because we enjoy eating food that we cook ourselves. So sometimes we share that. Gardening as well. It's difficult for me to do gardening videos because of the close proximity of our neighbours. I don't really enjoy doing that. So trying to come up with new ideas that don't involve huge amounts of extra time and work that we don't really have because of work commitments is really difficult. And I'm not reaching out for suggestions because also there's part of me that doesn't really want to push myself to the limit in order to get more views. I just get a bit hacked off at the fact that the actual price of advertising is coming down. You know, advertisers aren't wanting to pay big bucks for adverts now. And there are so many other platforms that offer advertising. And I don't really want to get into other platforms either. I feel as though we do enough, but that enough is no longer earning the money that we need to pay a bill. I'll give you an example. Last year, we were doing really well. At one point, we were earning around sort of £400 a month for maybe a couple of months late last year. And for the same work and similar views, that money has plummeted to around sort of 200 quid. So it's it's quite a big drop. I'm just discussing, part of what we discuss with Vivi, because she's noticed that as well. And this is certainly not, we're not asking for money. Please, let's be very clear. We're not asking for a load of requests of things that you'd like to see either. Because the whole thing is around time, having the time to do stuff. And when I was working part-time, we did have the time to be more creative, to experiment with stuff, try out sort of, effects and different ways of filming, and just taking a little bit of time to play. And I think this whole thought process came from me this morning, thinking, oh, it's bank holiday. I've got nothing planned today. What would I like to do? I thought, wow, I rarely have a day where I can just think, I'll do this today. I'm free to do this. I may do a little bit of music. Of course, I've chosen to do chores at the moment, but I may go on to doing a creative pursuit. But it's that rare opportunity now rather than a regular thing. So, and sometimes right at the other end of the spectrum, you do sort of sometimes think to yourself, well, should I even carry on? I'm not saying I'm going to stop, but is it worth me carrying on? Should I just do full-time work all the time and just earn my money that way? What drives me to still be here on this channel talking to you? And the answer to that is you. You know, without the viewer, and I've said this before, without the viewer there is no video, but you sort of walk a line of thinking, God, you know, I'm not really getting paid that much to do what we do. There's the only reward is to know that you're at the other end watching, and also the sense of responsibility that we have to the viewer, to the regular viewer, to the core viewer, is quite strong. We do feel a sense of responsibility because that's who we are as people, which is why we don't decide to sell out and suddenly get sensational and all clickbaity. That's why we don't do that. And then one also asks the question, is what we're doing enough to attract new viewers? Because it seems to me that in order to earn anything like the sort of 400 quid we were earning last year, around late last year, we would have to really ramp up the number of videos that we make, and we would need to increase our views quite a lot in order to make the same money that we got from the same views last year. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's not a simple thing. It's not an easy fix. There is no easy fix. We'd have to be working like dogs all the time and coming up with new ideas, new content, probably making 5 or 6 videos a week. And that's just not, it's just not feasible. We would actually burn out if we did that. So I'm just musing on this. I'm not reaching out because we're really worried or anything like that. Please don't get the wrong impression. I'm just musing with you about the situation. And it's not a desperate situation. We're still very grateful to be earning 200 quid a month. Very grateful. It does go towards a bill, although it doesn't pay a bill because the bills are higher than that. Yeah, it's just interesting to talk about it. And I'm certainly not depressed or, you know, down about it or anything like that. Please don't get the wrong impression. I'm just sharing with you what it's like from our perspective. And it can be immensely frustrating, really. I mean, we're very grateful to YouTube, the platform, because it is great. Have your own channel, put out the content that you like, you know, interact with people around the world. It's great. But it just doesn't really seem to reward the smaller channels like ours, you know. And there are also smaller channels that suddenly seem to get promoted because they've had quite a lot of views. I mean, the biggest number of views we've ever had was the storm video, but that was well before we monetized our channel, so we didn't really earn any money from it. I think that we were talking to Vivi about it, and I looked, and I think it's earned about, it had something like 77,000 views, and it's earned about £24, and that was about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, something like that. So, you know, that's the reality of being a small YouTube channel. You cannot really make a living out of it unless you have really highly viewed videos and the advertising rate is high. That's it in a nutshell. So anywho, what am I doing today? I'm having a bit of a relax. I've done a couple of chores, done my cleaning cloths, they're in a soak. I've put some jeans on a wash. I am possibly going to do a little bit of gardening. The green waste was taken this morning. That was quite funny because I heard Paul calling down something from upstairs, and I said, I can't hear you. What is it? It was about 5 to 7 this morning. I was making tea. He said, the green waste people are here, quick. Oh, God, okay. So I ran outside, I had to unlock the door. I ran outside, grabbed the bin from the side of the house, wheeled it towards them, sort of beckoning, and they saw me. And of course, you've got the noise of the truck, which is very loud. And he said something to me, and all I heard was, blah, 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 blah. And I went, green waste, green waste. And he went, blah, 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 blah. I went, green waste. And I realised he was saying house number, not in an English accent. So, I was forgiven, I think, for not hearing him and the sound of the truck. And I went, oh, 27. I thought, why can't he see the number on the door? And I realised the door was open. So he took it, thank goodness, because it was full. So that was all a bit manic, first thing. So that is now empty, which means I can do a little bit more gardening because it's every 2 weeks and we pay for that service as well. Why they don't just automatically go into the drive and pick it up because the car's not in the drive at the moment. You pay. So, yeah, may do some gardening, but it is due to rain. It's forecast to rain. So it may be indoor pursuits today. Tomorrow morning, I would like to do the front garden if the weather's okay, because the ivy is out of control. So I need to check that. So yeah, nothing to do today other than what I want to do, which is potter. And just do very little and relax and maybe have an afternoon nap. If I do anything interesting, I'll bring you along for the ride. So sorry, that was a bit of a waffle. How long was... Oh my God, I've been going for 17 minutes. God. Sorry about that. And please don't worry. I'm not thinking of giving up the channel or anything like that. It's just interesting to talk about these things. And like I say, when you're not a YouTuber, it's difficult to see the perspective. And if you're a very successful YouTuber with lots of views and a lot of subscribers, then you can do pretty well. But we're not. And the channel isn't doing that well compared to other channels. There are plenty of channels that have started quite recently and that are nearly at the same number of subscribers as we've got. So clearly we're not doing everything we could do to be more successful. Oh well. Oh well. C'est la vie, as the French say. And to be honest, we're into the organic thing. We might be stupid for that, but we just believe in letting things develop and grow organically. That's who we are. We don't tend to push things. I don't think we're terribly ambitious people now. I don't think I have ever been that ambitious. I've been quite happy to sort of just float along and work hard at whatever I was doing. Maybe we haven't worked hard enough on this. Oh well. Am I bothered? Does my face look bothered? I'm waffling now. I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Well, good afternoon. It's Tuesday afternoon and I'm off. Lovely. I'm so glad I booked the day off. I know that when I've had a busy weekend, I always know that I need a bit of time just to potter, just to relax, to do a few jobs, just get stuff done that ordinarily in a full week I would be sort of cramming in left, right, and centre, doing bits in the evening. I mean, they're not big jobs, but they're jobs that require being done if the house is to remain tidy and clean. And I like a tidy and clean house. So it has to be done. I don't have a servant. No, I've got a tickle. It's probably dust. And the reason why it's dust is because I've just cleaned a bookshelf. We have a small bookshelf in our dressing room, which just houses a few paperbacks, bits and pieces. And it was due a clean because it was looking very dusty. And I was kind of a little bit inspired by Vivi's video of her book cleaning the other day. And, none of our books are particularly expensive books or anything like that. There may be a couple that are worth, a few quid, but nothing rare or first edition or anything like that. So I was inspired to clean the bookshelf, so I thought just get it done. So I got the little vacuum cleaner out, my Shark, and cleaned that, and it was very dusty. It gets very dusty in that dressing room. Very dusty indeed. And of course it's better in the summer because the window can be opened more regularly when in use, when the room is in use. So yeah, I did that. I've done a load of washing, stripped the guest bed, stripped our bed, changed the bedding. I've done a little bit more vacuuming upstairs. Yeah, just pottering around at my own pace, and it's now around midday, I think, maybe 1 o'clock coming up. Alexa, time?
The time is 12:45 p.m.
12:45. So it'll be soon time for some lunch. But today's plans were really scuppered because I really was planning on getting outside and doing some gardening. But it has been chucking it down all day so far. It's breezy, it's cool, it's grey, and it's wet. Welcome to summer. I'm not impressed so far. I mean, it's only, 3 weeks to midsummer, to the longest day? And then it starts getting dark again in the evenings. Really? Really? I mean, we still have plenty more of summer, in inverted commas, to come. One hopes that we may get a couple of weeks of warm weather in June, July, August, perhaps, even September, October. No, look, if we do get warmer times, it can be lovely to October in the UK. It really can. But we've not had anything significant, maybe a week or so of sunshine, but that's been punctuated with showers. Yeah, people outside of the UK who don't live with very changeable weather conditions will never understand the grief we feel in the UK when we realise that we're not going to get a summer, that we're going to be blessed with leaden skies and rain and very cool conditions. I just feel tired talking about it. Yeah. So there you go. I'm at home, stuck indoors. It's trying to brighten up. It's trying its best, but it's just not poking through. And it would have been ideal today to go out into the garden in these kind of conditions and just potter. But it's not very pleasant. No. Hey ho. I'll amuse myself. One will amuse oneself with housework. I'm beginning to feel like a servant, I can tell you right now. I'm my own servant. I am my own servant. Sounded quite poetic, didn't it? Anywho, I'll see you later. Good evening. It's Wednesday evening. Back at work today for my sins. I didn't have a very good morning this morning at work. Shouldn't really go into the reasons why. But there were several things that were brought to my attention that kind of caused me to have to do quite a bit of extra work. And I wasn't too happy about it, to be honest. But hey, what can I do about it other than just get on with what needs to be done? And that sort of put me back for the majority of the day. And I felt really pressured. So I ended up bringing the computer home with me and finishing off at home so I could get up to date. So I kind of worked till about 6:30. Yeah. And I did whinge about it to a couple of bosses because I wasn't happy about it at all. I'm not going to go into the reasons why. I can't really, but the one thing I can report is that the security is now off-site. They must have finished this morning at 7 because everything was open, the lights were on, fire doors were left open. It was a bit of a mess. So I was a little bit annoyed about that. But yes, as far as I can tell, they're not coming back, so that's good. Weather-wise, it's feeling cool. It's overcast. There hasn't been any rain today. I think there may be some forecasts for tomorrow. I'm already looking forward to the weekend. Yeah. Today was full on. And not in a good way. So I've kind of had enough already. So there we go. But yeah, just got to crack on. I'll see you tomorrow. Well, we've made it to Friday. Yes, I know I didn't vlog yesterday. I was exhausted. I mean, this week was a short week. Why does it always seem that a short week of only 3 days, something knows, the universe knows that I'm on a short week, so it decides to throw at me as much as possible, to push me to the limit, to push me to feeling like a dried husk on the floor that's about to blow away with the wind. Discarded husk of a person. A little bit like that film. What's that film? Where he blows away with the dust. The Incredible Shrinking Man. I have been shrunk to a mere mote of dust, about to be carried on the wind. I am no more than an amoeba. Not really. No, I'm being dramatic. Overly dramatic, Richard. That's what my school reports used to say. Richard is more obsessed with being overly dramatic than getting a good day's work done. I don't know whether it said that or not. Again, I'm being overly dramatic for dramatic effect. No, seriously though, it's been a busy week. I'm on the verge of madness. Yeah, everything's been thrown at me this week. Everything you can think of. And yeah, the start of the week was, well, the middle of the week was horrendous. Today's not been too bad. Yesterday wasn't too bad. Well, no, actually, yesterday was pretty busy. Today was not too bad. It was more of a pace that I could work at. And this week I have been composing the email. I was going to send it today, but I've not sent it because I just want to give my boss a chance to get back to work, because she is due to be back, at work on the 6th of June, which is next week at some point. So if she is, she needs to deal with it. If she isn't, if she extends her sick leave, then I will be forwarding it to the head of service and the service manager. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And basically I'm saying, that's it. From July, I'm back to part-time hours. And I want some kind of compensation for the leave that I should have been given as a result of doing extra hours. Yeah. In not so many words. I mean, in a nice way. So, yeah. So Paul is out today for Earth's Sake. They've got the Anne Reid event this weekend, so he's going to have to be over there tomorrow as well. So as soon as I've had my cup of tea and a little bit of a relax, I'm going to put something on for dinner. I'm thinking of doing a risotto, because we've not had a risotto for a while. It's fairly easy to do. And yeah, it's filling and tasty. So yeah, I'm thinking of doing that with a little side salad. So yeah, I'm just feeling really weary and physically tired as well. I felt like walking up the hill earlier. Our road is on a hill. Walking up the hill was like, oh God, come on. And a neighbour waved, hi. And I was like, hi. I feel like communicating in grunts and groans. That's it. It's windy. It's feeling very cool. I actually put the heating on for half an hour at lunchtime because the house was so cold. And it's very grey. No rain as such. We had a little bit of light drizzle at lunch. Enough to wet me. Thank goodness I took the umbrella because I paid attention to the forecast. Yeah. But it's really grim. I've said to several people, I really don't think we're getting a summer this year. I really don't think we are. It's a shame. Hey ho, what are you going to do? Move to another country? No. Have a holiday in a hot climate? No, can't afford it. So just get on with what you've got. Yeah. I'm going now. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now. Good morning. It's Saturday morning. It's dull, grey, windy, and cool. And I'm pushing myself this morning to get out into the garden. There's a couple of jobs I need to do. I need to do the front, tidy that up. The ivy's out of control. That needs to be sorted. And I also need to tackle the bush at the side of the house. I'll show you what I mean. I'm not going to take you outside because I'm going to be at the front of the house. There's going to be people. It's Saturday. No, I don't like filming when people are sort of walking past. And also it's very, very windy, so you're probably not going to hear me, but I'll show you from the inside, the side bush. Hold on. So this is the bush as seen through the side window. You saw it on a video that I did when the scaffolding was up. It's quite high, but I love it because it's really vigorous growth. And as you can see, I've sort of been shaping it over time. But I just need to really reduce the size of it. It's getting a little bit big, but as you can see from in here, it gives a nice green backdrop. So it's quite attractive. One year we had to completely leave it alone because a family of pigeons took residence in there. I'm not sure there are any nests in there at the moment. I'll be careful as I go. But yeah, needs to be shaped up. This whole area needs a bit of a clean up. Those long leaves are agapanthus. And as you can see, weeds have taken up residence in a few of these old window boxes. They need clearing and emptying. But that's not necessarily a job for today. And I can see in that one there that a couple of aquilegias or columbine have taken up residence, and that wall needs a bit of a clean as well at the back there where there's been splash from rain. So yeah, it just need. Oh, there's a snail on the wall as well there. Been a lot of snails recently. So yeah, that's it. It's not particularly inviting out there. The sun is trying to get through. Yeah, I'm not in the mood, but it's got to be done. Oh, look, the bush hasn't changed. No, it hasn't. Because in my usual fashion, I ended up doing something else. I did do gardening. Let me just sit down. So it's Saturday afternoon. Turn this air filter off. Yeah, it's Saturday afternoon. Paul's just left. He has gone back to For Earth's Sake because they're having the Anne Reid live event tonight. And if you don't know, Anne Reid is an actress. Done quite a lot in the UK. She was in Dinner Ladies, for those of you who know Dinner Ladies. And she's done various shows, various series over the years, but she also sings and she's doing a cabaret tonight. I was invited, but I kind of said no because there would be a lot of waiting around for a start and I'd probably get roped into doing stuff. And to be honest, I'm not in the mood for working for other people, doing stuff for other people on my day off. But Paul will be home probably around midnight, so it's a long afternoon for him. I think it's about 2:15 now. So rewind. I went out into the garden and decided I was going to work on the magnolia, the olive tree, and the cherries. Do a little bit of cutting back because they're getting too big. And I've managed to fill the wheelie bin. There's not really much to show. There's no real difference. I've also started digging up the lawn and getting rid of the creeping buttercup. Let's Let's have a quick look out there. Let me walk through. Hold on. Weather is still dull. Sun has been trying to peep through. Let me put my sunglasses on. Swap those over. Oh, there's stuff everywhere at the moment. Let's have a quick look. I mean, like I say, there isn't really much difference to see, but I can tell you what I'm planning on doing. Okay. I've just swapped it over to the wide angle. Hope you can hear me. It's quite breezy. So what's doing well in the garden at the moment? Well, this lemon balm is doing very well. And look at the rock rose. Look at that. It has a new set of flowers every day. Look at this little baby rose here. It's doing very well. The sedums are doing well. This Japanese anemone is doing well. But I've got this big patch here, and I've taken this pot and I thought maybe this oleander in the pot, saying things the wrong way round, could go in this spot. I don't know. Anyway, what have I done? I've cut back this magnolia. I've given this a bit of a trim. Planes. I've also trimmed the olive here. I've started clearing some weeds from the borders. I've filled about 4 of these. And this is where I'm digging up the creeping buttercup. This is about to flower. This is what's it called? God, I can never remember the name of it. Hypericum? I'm not sure. This is doing well. This Ceanothus. Looking very pretty. That's a few years old now. This area is looking quite nice. It's filled out. And then I wanted to show you these as well. Look at these iris. I think they're fantastic. Don't know whether you can see the red seed pods just down there. Bright red seed pods. But yeah, they're doing beautifully, and you can see this all needs some attention. It's very, very lush and very overgrown. But that's for another day, and all of this needs to be trimmed back as well. I mean, it's all very nice, but it's very dense, and this plum tree, which is here, has got far too large. It's covered in plums. At some point, whoops, tripping over. At some point this pear tree needs a good sort out, and the ivy needs cutting back. Yeah. This white rose is doing well. Covered in flowers. The orange rose needs attention, although it has got quite a few flowers on it, and all of this needs to be cleared. My Buddha is completely engulfed. So yeah, I need to really pay attention to quite a few things, but I haven't got the space to get rid of the stuff. All this needs to be tidied. Yeah, it's when I say I don't have the space, I don't have I've only got one wheelie bin, which is used to collect all the green waste and is collected every 2 weeks, so I'm limited. God, more planes. That's a big one. So I've got weeding to do along here. I want all this cleared. Yeah, it's a never-ending job. So I wanted to do this today, but I just haven't got round to it. Our wheelie bin is just over here. There, that green one, can you see it? That's full now, so can't really do much. Much more, I mean. So yeah, I just need to tidy up, put my tools away. And then I've got to edit this. Let's go back inside. I'm pleased with what I've done. Even though it wasn't exactly what I wanted to do, but that's okay. I didn't get around to doing the front either, but that'll just have to wait for another day. Let me change my glasses. Oh, that's better. But it's quite nice because I had a bit of a rush of energy and it was quite good. I mean, look, let's be honest. I don't enjoy gardening. I'm not a gardener. God, my hair looks flat. It's because I was wearing a headscarf. I hurt almost immediately. My back starts to hurt and I find bending and stretching difficult. Sitting on my knees and all of that I find hard. So I don't enjoy it, really. But it's got to be done and nobody else is going to do it. You know, I can't expect Paul to do the garden here as well as the allotment. But yes, I had a sort of rush of energy. And weirdly enough, last night, after I'd done my vlog, I had a rush of energy and I put clothes away, I put a wash on. I made a risotto, which was corn chunks with peas, green beans, celery, onion. Yeah, it was delicious, really delicious. So I made that. I put my wash out. Yeah, I had this sort of rush of energy, but come 9:30, I felt absolutely exhausted. So, but today, you know, I just thought, I just need to do these things. And at the moment, I need to do them on a Saturday and a Sunday. Saturday, preferably. And it's not been too bad out there in terms of neighbour noise. It's not been too bad at all. But as I say, the garden needs a lot more work, but I'm limited to the amount I can do in one day because of, you know, limited storage space for garden waste. Yeah. So I don't think there's anything else to report. I'm just trying to think. No. I'm going to potter around, do a bit of cleaning, bit of housework. This afternoon, I may sit down on the computer to do a little bit of music, perhaps. I'm not sure. Maybe. But the one thing I am going to do is have an afternoon nap at some point. Totally guilt-free. But I don't want to do it for too long. An hour. I'll allow myself an hour on the sofa to just refresh for the evening because I'm going to be up late because Paul's not going to be home, like I say, till about midnight. So I'll probably be snoring on the sofa by the time he gets in. Yeah, there we are. I think that's it for this week's vlogs. Sorry if they've been too long. Hey ho. I will see you next week. So take care and thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. I still don't know why any of you watch it. Sometimes I just think my life is really very small and very limited. I don't do an awful lot. But that hopefully is going to change when I go part-time, back to part-time, because there will be time for more creativity, time to think of new ideas, think of new things to present to you. So I'm looking forward to that. Bye for now. Take care. Toodle pip. Au revoir.